All right, Josh, Euros start tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's a lot of conversations regarding if England should take the knee or not. What do you think about it?
I think that all of the response, the booing and all of that, that's shameful, it's embarrassing. And for the reason, and all of these weak reasons that people keep giving for why they're booing is disgraceful, because you're booing an act of defiance. However, I do agree a lot with people like Wilfried Zaha, in the sense that if you look at every single movement that has come from black people trying to create solidarity and trying to move forward and trying to make a stand, it's always negative, actual physical movements. And if you think about it, taking a knee is symbolic of bowing to someone, as is, like the instead of sit-ins, it's now become lions and things like that. It's constantly a act of black people doing something that is symbolic of an act of surrender. So I do agree that maybe the knee itself should be something more of an upward act of, if you think back to the Olympics, and you think back to Jesse James, right? It's Jesse,
yeah.
But and you think back to that, that's an act of power. That's the defiance. Taking the knee before a game. It's not that I don't think it's powerful. I think it has, if people really truly bought into it, it'd be great. But I think that it's symbolic of surrender. And so I don't agree in that sense. I do think that anyone that's got an excuse as to why they don't think that the knee is fair because it's involving politics in football and all that. Football's always been politics. It's always been politics from the beginning, and maybe that's because the only people saying that are white people who have only wanted to keep football as not politics. But I can remember the amount of black people, for me growing up, that when I saw a black person playing, that made me feel more included in what was going on. So there's so much more to it, and I think that when we're looking at the Euros and we're looking at this booing whole situation, if that's what the team have decided is best to do, i.e. take the knee, then that is what we should support, because that is the movement of trying to make a statement and trying to show solidarity, trying to show progression in this messed up world we live in. And I think, I've had constant conversations with people that go, oh yeah, but like all lives matter. I mean, please leave the conversation with that. However, I'd love to challenge that.
Yeah.
At the same time, that is not what anyone's ever been trying to prove with Black Lives Matter. I think what we've been trying to prove is that and feel appreciated and understood as human beings. And until every human being on this planet feels that, regardless of what they have been through and regardless of their colour, creed, or mental health classification, disability, if you can even call it that, superpower, I might flip it on its head, but like until everyone feels that they have their own place in this world, we can't continue to just go, oh, like you're a snowflake or you're a whatever. No, I'm not having it. So I think, like Wilfried Zaha, I agree with what he's saying, but the booing, see you later. It's pathetic, it's embarrassing. And whether or not you go, oh, I'm not racist, but I booed.
If you're watching the football in the pub or with people and you see someone booing during the knee, what would your reaction be?
I'm not a fighter. I'm a pacifist. I'm a complete pacifist, and I would never. I don't see violence as a resort, as an option, unless defending yourself from violence. However, if I was in the pub and someone was booing, it would anger me. It would anger me because it would make me think, okay, I wouldn't necessarily. This is me even being as understanding as possible. I would immediately think that person has a racist agenda, and although that might be me skipping to conclusions, I still would then stand there and go, well, tell me why this is something you not only disagree with, but you have the audacity and the belief that you should boo it? That's the first question I would be asking, and I don't think that there's a real answer for that. And I don't think there is an answer for that. And I go as far as to say I'm 99% sure there is not an answer for that.
I agree with you. 100% agree with you. I think that a lot of people that boo have got their own agenda, no matter what it is. They might have created a different narrative to cover up what the real narrative is.
Yeah, exactly.
But, you know, how good is it, although Sahar's right, you know, about bowing down, but how good is it to have these conversations? Exactly. I've just met you now. We're having a really good conversation right now. And how good is that we, at this time, especially during the pandemic, we can have this conversation.
Exactly.
We got it just before our national team plays
which are predominantly black, by the way.
Yeah.
Predominantly black, and predominantly have not only, this isn't just like going, oh, okay, we're just talking about something that was like what, like Marcus Rashford comes off the pitch. Like, for just an example, Raheem Sterling comes off the pitch and has to open up his social media to racist abuse now. Now. Not years ago. That wouldn't be okay anyway, but now. So when we're taking the knee, that's a stand as to what's happening now. And that, if you can't get with that, and you can't, like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, really, and it's like, it got to a point where, like, the fact that Southgate, fair play to him, is saying, this is what I'm doing, this is what we're doing, and this is our way of it, and we're sticking by it, and then it's somehow encouraged more of a backlash. I'm confused as to what state of mind the country's in. You know, and I'm always happy to have a conversation. Always happy to have a conversation and a debate as to how we move on from this. That's cool. And I'm not going to be someone who's going like, I'm not going to be divide and conquer. I'm not going to be standing there going, you believe this, so I don't want to talk to you. Because no, I want to talk to you. If you want to say something that's opposing the opposition to what I believe, I want to hear it so that we can both learn from each other. But the fact is that there are people who don't at all want to understand, and the whole thing is like, you know, if you even look back to the, you know, to the civil rights movement, okay, yeah, and people go, oh, here we go again. Well, why here we go again? Because we're still, hasn't really changed. Hasn't really changed. Yeah. This is a mixed race man saying this. Yeah. This is like, I've got a Chinese mother and a black dad, so it's like, you know, I've been the white, you know, in a white environment, the blackest person in that white environment, despite the fact I'm not fully black. I don't even know, you know, but I'm still here as someone who experiences all of that kind of thing, and it hasn't changed enough. So until it does change enough, until, there's Black Lives Matter and there's awareness, that's great. Also, you know, even the movements in themselves, it's like really when you
break it down.
When you break it all down, where's the money going? Where's different things like that? It
gets a bit lost in translation sometimes, depending on who's involved with it.
Exactly.
But I think at the same time, without these movements, without these conversations, there won't be any change.
Oh no, we have to have them.
Yeah.
We have to have them.
Yeah.
I completely believe we have to have them. But I just do think that right now what we live in is if you're going to boo the national anthem when people are taking the knee, I think that's something you need to address, and I think that's something that we all need to address and we all need to work towards. And you know, I believe one day maybe we'll all be cool together. But you know, right now it's a sad thing to see. It really is.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. What's your handle?
I'm Josh Barry Music. I'm a musician. Check me out if you want.